Good morning, everybody. 5280 all day. I'm going to have a mush fest in that area this weekend. Safe travels to Herbie. I see Herbie's on the road. Hopping from airport to airport. Anyone else that's traveling today and tomorrow, safe travels. Safe travels. Good morning, Freddie the Hinky Hinkleston. Taco, good morning. I had my tacos Tuesday. Homemadies. Pretty good, by the way. One of these days I'm going to invite everybody over for tacos. Derek Anderson and I will cook. Good morning, Mel. And Cleany and Michael. Michael in third. Cleany and HB. Good morning, Cat, Meow, Zill, and HB. Good morning, you guys. 24 people, 12 likes. 24 people. And Niffy forgot to push the like button. Watch. If Niffy will push it, it'll go to 14. Oh, see, it went to 16. So Niffy pushed it 3 times. Okay. Remember to turn on all messages and not top chat. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. 27 to 21. Nippy, I was teasing you. I knew you were a pusher. You're a pusher from way back. You're a double tapping, screen tapping, double tapper. Good morning to Corey Bradley from Ireland. There's Corey. Most of you knew Corey would be here, but you guys didn't want me to know, so it would be a surprise. Okay. I'm very surprised. Thank you, Corey. Thank you to the rest of you for keeping it secret. Good morning. Good morning. One of these days, that's a bucket list. I'd love to go to Ireland someday. That's on my bucket list. I want to go check out the Blarney Stone. Good morning, Sanum. Pops is a little full of Blarney. He'd like to go check out the Blarney Stone in person. What do you guys say about that? Good morning, Jesse. Sammy P. There is no show without Sammy P. Sue, good morning. Sanum, is that where Rosie lives? I could go live near Rosie. There was a time she bothered me. Now, not so much. Not so much anymore. There was a minute where Rosie got under my skin. And then I'm like, why would I let Rosie get under my skin? Let Rosie alone. Good morning. Leave Rosie out of it. Calico Meow Kitty. Good morning. Right, Santa, just leave her alone. Let her crack jokes and stuff. Good morning, everybody. Say good morning to each other for about 2 or 3 more minutes. And then we're going to do something we haven't done in a couple of weeks. Good morning, Paigey. Good morning. Derek Anderson, I think you're the main moderator today. Okay. Rough Ah. Good morning. HP, don't go trying to read ahead. You're the kid in class that reads the textbook ahead. You know those kids? Pops was one. The whole class is reading there on like page 17. I'm already on page 22. Okay. You have a piece of the Blarney Stone right in Texas. It makes sense. Tall Texan tales. Yeah. Nippy, were you a read aheader in the textbook? I get the feeling Nippy read ahead. And Cleaning was trying to catch up. Okay? Yeah. Nippy read ahead. And Cleaning's like, excuse me, what page are we on? Oh, I know he is, Nippy. I know. He doesn't even need a textbook. Rough Ah is from Poland. Okay. Derek, I knew that about you. You didn't need to tell us. Derek is in the hallway copying homework. Derek, and nobody would tell him no because we all liked him. But he's, yo man, can I see your homework from last night? Derek was always about 1 minute late because he's in the hallway copying off of Cindy Lou homework page. Oh, good morning, Derek. I love you. You know I'm teasing. You better know I'm teasing. Good morning. Good morning to one. Good morning to all. Good morning. I see a whole bunch of great looking people out there. Good morning. Jesus Christ is here. You can always start your ceremony once Jesus floats in. There you go, Aaron Rodman. Good morning. Jesus Christ in Australia. Every once in a while you notice he takes a JCBB. What in the world's a JCBB, you guys? It's called a Jesus Christ bong break. Good morning. Jesus Christ. Let's have a JCBB. Who thought of that one? I think that was Kim. I have a feeling Kim made that one up. Good morning, Don Fike. I see all of you guys out there. Good morning. Let's get, I got 30 more seconds and we're going to get started. Okay? Give me 30 more seconds, about 20 more seconds. Good morning, Herbie. Good morning, Herbs. Good morning, Trenty the Trenty Trenterson. Ben Lands. There's Ben. Here we go. Let's do that. Let's do that thing. Good morning. True or false? True or false? What do you think? Is this true or is this false? I'm going to read a statement. Flat feet are a body defect and are prone to injury. True or false? Thank you, HB. Flat feet, body defect, prone to injury. True, false? Jason's going true all the way. Well, thank you. Thank you, Mark. We got a half trues and half falses going here. So in other words, you guys really don't know. Okay, hobbit feet. Pops has hobbit feet. My feet are wider than they are long. I have to have shoes. They have to be wide. My feet are wider than they are long. Okay? But those of you that said true are wrong. Okay? Wrong. In Fort Benning in 1989, a study did a sample of 300 soldiers and found that the soldiers with flat feet were less prone to injury than those with normal arches. But I remember back in the day, you could get out of the draft service if you'd had flat feet. Do you remember that? Wazzy, weren't we able to dodge the draft if if they diagnosed us with flat feet? Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they didn't let Frodo in or Bilbo. Just saying. Is this true or is this false? I'm going to read another one. Freddie, I thought that was true. I'm pretty sure that was true, and then yet the Army's now testing them and saying, no, well, they're better. They probably took that get out of the draft designation away. Another statement, true or false? Is this true or is this false? Turkeys commonly drowned in the rain. Turkeys typically, commonly drowned in the rain. Is that a true statement? Are turkeys so dumb that they don't know to get out of the rain and they stare up and their mouth gets full of water and they drown? Isn't that true? True or false? Ben's going, it's true, it's true, it's true. The people that said true fell for a common myth. The whole myth originated with turkeys being unintelligent enough that when it rained, they would stare up at the sky and rainwater would fill up their mouths, causing them to drown. In reality, during a rainstorm, turkeys would do what every other animal does and find shelter. Give the turkeys a break. 5280 knows she owns them. 5280, what's it? No, I'm sorry, Mr. 420, I'm sorry. Mr. 420 owns them. Little pet store I was a part owner in, we at different times had 2 different turkeys for sale. People would bring in a turkey and maybe trade it for a couple chickens or something like that. I gotta tell you, I liked the turkeys. Just their personalities. They were friendly. The turkeys would come up to the cage and they were interested in what you're doing. They weren't afraid of you. Both of them. I liked the turkeys. I like them. They are kind of raptory, aren't they, Karen? Kim. The turkeys were friendly. Coming back from the Eastern Shore last week, I'm looking at the side of the road and I go, oh my gosh, wild turkeys. There are about 4 or 5 wild turkeys that come out of the cornfield. They had it made. Their food's right there growing on a corn stalk. True or false? I'm not getting into the conspiracy theory. Anybody, this is just my opinion. It's all it is. And I don't demand anybody agree with me or not. I think it's silly, anybody that thinks that there was a we never landed on the moon conspiracy. The United States. I think that's a silly one to... You could go with JFK, more than one shooter. You could come up with a bunch of other conspiracies. I'll give you a little room on those. I can't believe that people believe that we didn't land on the moon and that it's some kind of a hoax conspiracy. You know how many people would have to be involved? Thousands and thousands of people. Everybody at Mission Control. I mean, what are we? They're all actors and stuff. And et cetera, et cetera. The technological advances we got as a result of going to the moon, et cetera. I'm not telling anybody that they're dumb or stupid. I'm just saying that's a conspiracy theory that's about as weak as you can get. Okay? So, and it's weird. Why do we not want to land on the moon? Why? Anyways, let me ask you a question. Okay? Based off of the fact that I'm going to say we landed on the moon. Conspiracy theories aside. Question. Is there an American flag on the moon? Is there an American flag on the moon? Yes or no? Jason's saying, heck yeah, Santam's, you better believe it. I saw him plant one. I did too. Is there an American flag on the moon? Jesus Christ said it should be an Australian one. Nipper thinks China snuck up there and pulled it down. American flag on the moon. You ready? Now the conspiracy theory is going crazy. Not so fast. According to Buzz Aldrin, one of the astronauts who was on the moon. Wait a minute. How cool a name for an astronaut is Buzz? How cool a name is Buzz? If I'm ever going to be an astronaut in my next life, that has to be my name. Either that or I'm a beekeeper. You're either an astronaut or a beekeeper. According to Buzz Aldrin, one of the astronauts who was on the moon, he and Neil Armstrong accidentally placed the American flag too close to their spacecraft. And when they took off, the flag was blown away. They planted one. We saw the pictures, but they planted it too close to the spacecraft. Spacecraft blew the flag away. So it's no longer there. Let's start a conspiracy. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that nuts? The guy had one job to do. No, he also got didn't he get hit a golf ball? Didn't he get out there and hit a golf ball? One of them took one step for large leap for mankind. One step and then a large leap. Mark, they weren't calculated. They didn't do a good calculation on the blast impact. That's a crazy story, though. If you're drunk, right? I agree with you, Derek. They smuggled the putter onto the spacecraft. Smuggly-duggly-doo. Mission Control didn't know. Can you imagine if just the weight of the putter and the ball they brought, like, threw the whole thing off? Okay. Let me ask you a question. If you're drunk, some of us have been there before. Will puking help you not have a hangover the next day? HB, if you're drunk, please get sober. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. 9 in some places. Will pukey dookie make you not have a hangover the following morning? Mark says, absolutely not, Pops. The only thing it's going to do is help you drink more. You guys are all right on this one. Good job. Good job. Ross is all technical about it. Puking does not do anything to clear alcohol out of your system because most of it is already in there. Since alcohol works its way into your system so quickly, the only way to get rid of it by puking is to puke it out as soon as you drink it. I'm with Waz and Cleany. Drink a lot of water. Drink a whole lot of water. If you're in a tornado, boy, knock on wood, I hope I'm never in a tornado. But if you are, if you're in a tornado, does it protect you to hide or to take cover under an overpass? Under an overpass. That's a good place to hang out in the middle of a tornado. Is that a true statement? Catzilla says, get under the overpass immediately. Get right under there. Derek Anderson's saying that certain sexual acts take place under the overpass. Derek, is that true? Excuse me. Derek, how do you know what's going on under the overpasses? How do you know? Okay. Here's the answer. Mark Zerber. Here's the answer. Taking cover under an overpass is more dangerous than just running away. Climbing up into the space under the corner of the bridge gets you higher up in the air, in exactly the perfect spot where the winds from the tornado accelerate. This means you have placed yourself in the perfect spot for the tornado to pick you up and throw you around. Or as Derek would say, oh, you guys are funny. Kim and other cat owners, can your cats, and let's throw in the dog owners too, can your cats and dogs predict an earthquake? Can your cats and dogs predict an earthquake? Your home pets. Maybe if you had an iguana. Is the iguana telling you anything that's going on? Kim's going, how do I know, Pops? I don't live in an earthquake place. There's a pretty common myth that says pets can predict earthquakes if we pay attention to their strange behavior right before the earthquake. The only way that pets may notice an earthquake before their owners is when they feel the ground shaking. Pets often have greater sensitivity to things happening around them, so they will notice the ground shake a few seconds before a human does. The answer seems to be there's a small window of prediction available to them. And it's not because they're using their psychic brain, but they've got 4 paws touching the earth. It's the answer. And final one for today. LSD, wait for this one. I'm asking, this is a true or false. I bet most of you give a particular answer. LSD will make you insane. True or false? LSD will make you insane. We have a few falses coming. We have some trues. I thought we'd get all falses, but we're not. We're not. The answer, in a study done in 1960, LSD was given to 2,000 people. 1960. They're testing the heck out of it back then. It was given to 2,000 people, half of who were known to be mentally ill or genetically predisposed to mental illness, and the other half were average people. How do you classify someone as average? You're prone to mental illness, you're average. Where's the geniuses in the study? Certainly none of us were there. So now we've given a half and a half. After the test was done, only 0.13% of the subjects, that's 0.13. That's just a little over 0.1% of the subjects existed any sort of psychotic behavior, and all of those people were mentally ill, in the mentally ill category. I'm not saying it's the safest thing, but I'm saying there sure was a lot of propaganda out there. There was a whole lot of propaganda back in the 60s about how I was going to make, if I took it, I was going to fly out windows and I'd go to the Empire State Building and fly. Not so fast, my friends. Okay, where are we at? Remember yesterday we were saying we're going to talk about brains? Yesterday we said we're going to talk about brains. Before I go any further, I need to give 2 packages away. I need to give 2 packages away to people here. It'll be Enigma, supplemental supplements, about 7 grams of Enigma. Good morning, Greenie. I always love it when I see Greenie. Mush Hunter, I'll give 1 to you. Mush Hunter, done. I need your address at the DetroitMushLab@gmail.com. And who's the other one? Mush Hunter just claimed 1. Who's the other claimant? Clean Grow. Cleaning. You haven't tried it. I'll send it to Trent. I'm sorry. I'm giving it. Trent, be here tomorrow. Trenty. I'm going to send this package to Cleany. Cleany hasn't tried our Enigma, and I know he's a good lab rat. So I'm going to send it to Cleany. Okay? The email. It's all one word. Herbie Von Werby Kabop has got it right down there on his comment. The DetroitMushLab@gmail.com. Okay? So get your addresses to me. Cleaning, I think I have yours. I'm pretty sure I have yours. If I don't, I'll let you know. Mush Hunter, you'll get me yours. Okay? Let's talk about the brain. Let's talk about the brain. Quick question. Can your brain run out of memory? Can our brain run out of memory? Just like, like your computer, it's full. Storage space, done, full. Niffer says, I think it happens to me daily, Pops. No, it doesn't. Well, heck. Your memory relies, well, that's pretty close. Your memory relies on reusing, overlapping, and adapting rather than on a fixed number of storage spots. You can use up all the storage on your phone or max out your computer's drive, but can you use up all the memory space in your brain? Despite how you might feel before an exam or after a sleepless night before a work deadline, neuroscientists say that for a typical healthy brain, memory capacity isn't fixed or easily used up. There isn't a meaningful limit to how much information the brain can store, said Elizabeth Kinsinger, a professor of psychology and neuroscience at Boston College. Memories can be thought of as the data in the brain, the brain uses to understand the current moment, to make predictions about the future, and to scaffold further learning. That's because the brain doesn't store memories as isolated files in one specific nerve cell. Instead, a single memory is distributed across many neurons called an engram. A group of brain cells connected and scattered across brain regions. Neuroscientists refer to this pattern in which a memory is recorded across many neurons as distributed representation. Each of those individual brain cells plays a role in many different memories. Is this interesting to you guys? Remember, Pops is like trying to become a neuroscientist over here? So just because it's interesting to me doesn't mean it's going to be interesting to you guys. But the brain, how the heck do these memories work? Okay, good, I'm glad. Thank you for replying. Let's move on, Pops. Consider a memory, such as your 12th birthday party. It is not being stored in a single mental folder. This makes so much sense. The color of the balloons, the taste of the cake, the sound of your friends singing, and the feeling of excitement all activate different sensory and emotional centers. Your visual cortex, your taste cortex, your auditory system, and your emotion processing regions. These areas fire together in a specific pattern, and that pattern of neural activity stores the memory. When you recall the party later, you're reactivating the pattern. This method has significant advantages because neurons can participate in numerous combinations. The brain can encode huge number of memories. Kensinger suggests related memories share overlapping patterns, helping us to generalize and even make predictions, something many neuroscientists believe is the reason for memory. And if a few neurons are damaged, the memory may still be recoverable because it's not stored in just one place. Paul Reber, a professor of neuroscience at Northwestern University, explained to Live Science, that's the magazine that I'm reading from, Live Science, that distributed representation is part of what gives the brain its enormous memory capacity. The potential combinations grow exponentially since each neuron participates in many memories involving overlapping neurons. So why don't we remember everything? If the brain isn't limited by memory space, why don't we remember everything? This is because the brain's memory system, wait for this, the brain's memory system runs much more slowly than life happens. While information constantly streams in, only a fraction can make it into long-term storage. Reber suggested thinking of memory like a video camera that only works at about 10% of its capacity. We can only remember about 1/10 of the specific events, experiences, and encounters that we experience. That information that does get into our memory system is gradually laid down into durable memories that will be there for the long term. That process is called consolidation. The storage process is the real bottleneck, Reber said, not the amount of space that you have. It's how we get the memories in is the limit, not how much we can hold. At any given moment, tremendous amounts of information come into our brains from all our senses, but we don't need to remember it all. Human memory did not, listen to this, I love reading about evolution too. Human memory did not evolve for perfect recall. Lila Davachi, a professor of psychology and neuroscience at Columbia University, noted, our memory system evolved, big surprise here, our memory system evolved for survival, so we can prioritize what is helpful so we can navigate the world. The memory system is built to only encode what is adaptive and necessary, Davachi said. We just happen to get so good at it that we have all this extra reserve that allows us to reminisce about things that happened when we were in college, or perhaps. That's not adaptive. I'd argue we don't need it. Why is our memory system keeping it around? Well, it's possible it's just random. Some of these memories that we keep around, they're not for adaptive or survival reasons. And why do we keep some but we don't keep others? Rando. Kensinger explained that there are efficiencies in how the brain processes and remembers information. When similar information is encountered over and over again, Kensinger said, the brain tends to shift from storing the specific details to storing the more general content or schemas of the information. This is an efficient way to store information. Consider your drive to school or to work. You don't remember every trip because most of them are similar. Rather than storing each drive as its own memory, you recall the general experience. The brain will tend to store the details of specific drives only if they had something distinctive happen. Perhaps a road flooded, or you narrowly avoided an accident. Far from running out of space, our brains constantly reshape what we know to help us adapt, predict, and learn. So the next time you forget where you left your coffee cup, don't worry. You're not running out of space. It's likely your brain just had something more important to remember. Interesting, huh? Give me 5 people that said, Pops, that was interesting. Nipper already said it and I didn't even have to ask. Interesting. I find our brains and the way they work, and what an amazing machine that we carry around in our brains. Right? Michael's like, tell us more, Pops. We will. We'll talk about brains more here in the next coming weeks. I'll start sharing some more of this neuroscience business that I'm finding myself involved in. If I want to know how psychedelics are impacting myself and people I provide for, I think that the more I can learn about my brain and my blood system. Because don't forget, we're taking the psilocybin in, the compound shifts and it becomes a compound called psilocin. And then psilocin goes to the brain and does all kinds of amazing, miraculous things. So learning the human system, and this is funny because I could care less quite some time ago. Big deal. How can I make more money this week? Now it's like, I need more information before I die. I'm trying to fill it up. Like I'm racing to the end. I'm racing to the end here. Aaron, that's a good question. How come? That's another one that's fascinating, right? Savants. We were talking about anger yesterday. Guys, remember that? I agree, Herbie. Great job with the likes. We were talking about anger yesterday. And we were talking it being an action emotion. And then I went off on my own soapbox and started explaining how I can limit any anger that I experience or am going to experience, because it's choice, by monitoring it through my 4-step process. This is Brene Brown back on talking about anger a little bit more today. What I've learned, unlearned, and continue to learn about anger. This is Brene Brown. I've spent a lot of my career saying that anger is a secondary or indicator emotion that often conceals other emotions that are harder to recognize, name, or own. according to 91% of emotion experts, I'm wrong. Don't you love it when someone, even in print, can say, this is what I've thought for so long, and I'm wrong? That takes a lot of author ethics. It's very ethical. 91% of emotion experts that believe that anger is a primary emotion. Maybe it's semantics, and our difference comes down to how do we define primary, or maybe I've got it all wrong. Honestly, there are a lot of debates in the research that I don't think are worth digging into because they don't teach us much, but the debate is worth understanding. As I mentioned, we ask around 7,500 people to identify all of the emotions that they could recognize and name them when they're experiencing them. The average person out of 7,500, the average could recognize 3. They could recognize them and name them when they're experiencing them. That sounds like an inordinately low number. The average 3 emotions were glad, sad, and mad. Or, as they were often written, happy, sad, and pissed off. Couple this extremely limited vocabulary with the importance of emotional literacy, and you basically have a crisis. It's this crisis that I'm trying to help address. Over the past 2 decades, when research participants talked about being angry, the story never stopped there. Their narratives of anger unfolded into stories of betrayal, fear, grief, injustice, shame, vulnerability, and other emotions. Ultimately, the combination of data showing how limited emotional vocabularies can be with our experiences of interviewing people about their anger and watching them consistently reveal other emotions that were behind the anger. The more data we collected, including interviews with more than 1,500 therapists and counselors, the more certain I became that anger is just the secondary emotion. It's the indicator emotion. It's the one that can mask or make us unaware of the feelings that are out of our reach in terms of language. We don't know how to express it. We don't know what the emotion was behind it, but we certainly can tell you that I'm getting angry, I am mad, I am pissed off. But where did it start? Where did it come from? What were the emotions that triggered that? Embarrassment sometimes? Vulnerability? Betrayal? Fear? Oh gosh. People that are having fear, guess what they do? Oh, they'll get angry. What if we didn't go to angry and we stayed in fear for a little bit? Walked through the fear without ever facing anger, never tasting it. It's that we don't need to get there. It's really the lesson I'm hearing. The more in touch with my other emotions that I am, which is why we're studying so many of them, the more in touch we can be and even have our own internal, I don't have to have the same language for my feelings as you do for yours, but it'd be extremely helpful if I can identify an emotion and use my own language to explain it to myself and not get to the negative emotion that will ultimately be the result. We live in a world where it's much easier to say, I'm so pissed off, than to say, I've been betrayed and I hurt. If I can stop there, if I can identify, because if I get betrayed and hurt, it's easy to go to anger. Boom. Sent right there. Because I didn't stop. I didn't identify what was the reason I'm getting angry is because I was betrayed and I'm hurt. We are not taught to have that language. We're taught, just say you're pissed off. That covers everything. I'm going to ask 5 of you to tell me how healthy you think that is. How healthy do you think that is? Would we be better off? Would we be more emotionally mature if we just stopped at admitting betrayal and hurt? You know what anger is going to do? It's going to trigger the next person. Anger starts, now you have to have boundaries, fences, flags, and bombs. Instead of just saying you hurt me. It's even easier to say, I'm angry with myself, than I'm disappointed with the way I showed up. Gosh, that's such a powerful thing to be able to say. Can you imagine if you're in the middle of a situation and you catch yourself and it's like, I'm not going to get angry. I'm going to touch what's causing it. And I'm having this, let's call it a fight with my significant other. Can you imagine if you didn't go to any of the defensive places and you didn't get angry and you didn't fly off the hook and you didn't pound a door or slam something or break or toss? Can you imagine if instead you looked at your significant other and said, I'm actually disappointed with the way I've showed up. Before I can even get angry, I want you to know I'm disappointed. And I can do better. I will do better. How short would that fight be? You'd probably not have to sleep on the couch. You'd probably snuggle to bed. There's a huge saying, especially among couples. Don't let the sun go down on your anger. Don't let the sun go down on your anger. If you go to bed, sleep, and you're angry, do you think you're going to wake up in a safe place, a mental well place? 9 out of 10 times, if I go to bed angry, I wake up angrier. I don't heal in my sleep. It multiplies, generally speaking, for me. I'm even angrier. I cannot believe I had to sleep on the couch, and I was right all along. Imagine if I told myself, I'm just disappointed in the way I handled that, and the way I showed up. Gosh, that's mature. Cleaning, it does not work to go to bed angry. Do not let the sun go down on your anger, whether it's with your significant other or any other situation. It's usually yourself you owe an apology to first. It's usually yourself that you want to make an amends to first. Because don't forget, it took 2 people to be in that position. You were a full half of the equation. Can you admit that? Can you admit that? Even when you're right, something you weren't handling correctly, even if you're right, who gives a damn about right and wrong when you can be kind? Who really gives a damn when you can just be kind? And if you know the fact, you don't have to force it on someone. Oh no, the number's 101. I know I'm right. My math is perfect. So what if they said it was 100? And you know it's 101? You're taking it personal. Clinicians and educators use many tools to help clients and students uncover the emotions that show up as anger. I think it's especially helpful to mention some of them. Behind anger might be loneliness and rejection, fear, anxiety, frustration, confusion. I'm getting goosebumps right now, I'm not joking. Because every one of these I can feel. And I've been known to get angry. Not so much anymore. But these can lead me to anger if I'm not operating with some emotional maturity and practicing my 4 agreements. Grief, hurt, sadness, isolation, guilt, shame, jealousy. Anybody ever got angry with jealousy involved? Outrage and injustice, helplessness, overwhelming stress, humiliation, embarrassment, and depression. Depression, managing your anger. Even if you look at the list of 87 emotions and experiences discussed in this book, more than 20 of them are likely to present as anger or with anger. Feeling increasingly confident that anger is a secondary or indicator emotion, I was left with some big questions. In the face of injustice, can we be just by being enraged, furious, or angry? We're facing injustice. Let's get angry. That's the same exact thing as the person that's doing the injustice. Does it have to be masking or indicating something? Or can we just be mad? The answer to both of these questions is yes. As a former union organizer and lifelong activist, I think anger is often the most compassionate response to experiencing or witnessing injustice. It can be a powerful catalyst for change, and potentially even justified. And I still think that behind the anger is a tempest of pain and grief and betrayal and disappointment and other emotions. In Braving the Wilderness, I write about pain, hate, and anger, especially as they pertain to social justice issues. Sometimes owning our pain and bearing witness to struggle means getting angry. There are a lot of coded shame messages in the rhetoric of why so hostile. Don't get hysterical. I'm sensing so much anger. All of these responsible responses are normally code for your emotion or your opinion is making me uncomfortable. So suck it up and stay quiet. Our response is, it's okay to get angry for a moment. Understand why and go back to the why and get out of the moment. You're not a bad person because you got angry. You're not going to grow emotionally unless you touch why. And you go back and you address the why. Anger is a catalyst. Holding on to it will make us exhausted and sick. Internalizing anger will take away our joy and spirit. Externalizing anger will make us less effective in our attempts to create change and forge connection. Not many people want to be connected or making changes. Let's go together as a team with Anger Boy. If you're wearing anger, you're not going to be as effective as if you didn't go through the anger, but you identified where it came from. Anger is an emotion that we need to transform into something life-giving. We can take anger, which we're not bad for feeling. How are we going to use anger? To destroy a relationship? Or to express courage? I'm disappointed in myself. That's a courageous statement. Few people do that. I'm disappointed in you, but I don't tell you I'm disappointed in me. You can do better. Yeah. So can I. If we take anger and just let the one spark of anger be the tiny spark that it gets to be, because it's real, and understand, why did I spark? That's courageous. It really is. It takes courage to look inside ourselves and say, why did I do that? What was the trigger there? How can I not do that again next time? HB will tell you, by doing your best. You're doing your best if you're looking at anger from outside and saying, what was that? And what can I do to change? Courage. Love. Anger can lead to love. I'll love myself more when I can admit I'm disappointed in myself. I'll love you more if I don't express my anger, but I saw it as the spark and I found out what the real emotion was behind it. Change, compassion, and justice. Justice isn't anger. And if we remember way back to our Four Agreement book, justice, you get punished one time. Our society has taught us, when you've screwed up, blame yourself 100 times, tell us what a rotten good guy you are, beat yourself up, walk around with a stick and hit yourself a lot, and once you've done it for a long enough time, we'll consider letting you off the hook. You do it in relationships every day. You're holding something against somebody that happened years ago. You still want them to pay the price. That's not justice. Justice makes you pay once. Once you've paid once, you're out of jail, you're on the streets. Just don't do that crime again. Remember that. Have justice in your relationships. When people make mistakes, when they struggle because they're human and they have flaws, our job is to lift them up, not grind them down. Our job is to lift them up, walk them through, understand that they're human, and pour kindness into that situation. Kindness will be the healer. Four things. Be impeccable with your word, the things that come out of your mouth. Because somewhere there was a seed. Only water the seeds of goodness and kindness. The other ones will die away if you don't water them. Practice. Don't take things personal. Don't have expectations. Those two are your anger triggers. And if you're doing your best today, you won't go to bed. You won't let the sun set on your anger. You'll identify where it came from, why, and you will own completely your part. Who likes that idea? Who likes that idea? Who wants to be that healthy? That's how healthy I want to be. So we talk about it here every day and we practice. We will be healthier mentally if we practice. Go have a great day, you guys. I'll see you here tomorrow. Same much time, same much channel. We have another really fun article to go through, and we're going to keep looking at these emotions and learning how to grow up emotionally. Let's be a little more mature, emotionally mature. Bucket list, be more emotionally mature. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you guys here tomorrow. Well, Mushfest people, please have a wonderful time. Drive safe. And we will figure out tomorrow how we can IG or get some live feeds from you guys over the weekend. Okay? Shanti to you too, Michael. Have a great week. Day. Aaron and Cleany and Justin and Mushmouth and Derek Anderson and Sanum. Oh boy, where'd it go? And Sanum and Zozo LSD and Classic. I do too. Calico Kitty, Aaron and Derek and Mr. 420. Be the better person. I agree. Nippy, thank you. Deborah, you're a pearl. Have a wonderful weekend. Catzilla, HB, Calico, Justin, have a great day. Sammy B and Derek, thank you. Mr. 420, Michael Shanti Patterson. Thank you, Mr. Phillips. Kimberly the Golden Bolden. You have a great weekend. Mush Mom. Catzilla. Wait a minute. Where am I at? Catzilla. Sue Littlemeyer. Trenty the Trenty Trenterson. Clean Grow. Mushy. Jesus Christ and Nippy. Sanum 5280. Have a great fest. Mushmouth, you too. Derek Anderson, Jesus Christ in Australia. Paige and MVP, you're going to have a great time. Billy D, Laura, you're divine. Nippy, have a beautiful day. Aaron and Sammy P and Kim. And Aaron and Mushmouth and Anthony T and Nipper. And Jesus Christ and Mush Hunter's going to be impeccable. Practicing all day. Sanum. Aaron, Jimmy, the Maxwell, Aaron, Nippy, Donnie Fike, Susu, Nurs, there you are, Aaron and Notorious, Pops, Peace, Spread kindness. Practice the 4 agreements. Out.